down. We welcome in.
What have you been
doing? You stretch? Shower? What's
going on? I was hugging the fiance.
Okay. Great
Make us feel bad. Make us feel bad.
Way to go.
It's more of an embrace.
Donovan Mitchell, congratulations. I mean, the Cavs have reached the first conference final since 2018. It was a hard-fought playoff so far. What did this series bring out of you guys?
So many lessons. You know, obviously, the way we handled being down 2-0, great response, right? And then, you know, we win 3 in a row. And then I don't want to say we got lackadaisical, but I think we kind of let our foot off the gas in Game 6. We kind of expected the game to be handed to us, and that's a learning lesson, right? And for a team that's been together for 2.5, 3 months, we're going to go through those ups and downs. And the biggest thing is we didn't let it mess with us mentally. We knew what it was, and we got to be better in that regard, and we responded tonight. But I told the guys, this is fantastic. I'm excited, believe me, but, you know, got to be even more disciplined coming up on I don't know what day it is, so in 2 days.
Obviously, you all have bigger goals, but I have to say, it's got to feel good for you to just get this conference finals monkey off your back. As I can tell by the smile on your face. We've had a lot of conversations about this. I interviewed you last summer, and you said that you weren't consumed about not making it because you knew that you will. You said that you know who you are. What do you think you have shown everybody about who you are now in this moment?
Honestly, I don't think anything's changed. I think I've been the same guy. I think as a leader, I've definitely grown, but, you know, it's just about circumstance. And everybody on that couch, you guys know, sometimes it's just not your time. Like, you know, I mean, you could do everything you want to do, and sometimes whether, you know, I've been close and then I had ankle injuries. I've been close and we failed, right? You know what I mean? There's so many things. Sometimes you just got to continue to fight. And I said it after we lost against Indiana, like, what are we going to do, quit? Like, no, even if we had lost tonight, we're going to come back again next year. Like, you know what I mean? So the biggest thing was just continue to understand to keep trusting the process and trust the work, right? And I work hard. We work hard as a group. And understand at some point you're going to push through. But definitely a mental test. 2 Game 7s back-to-back definitely is a mental test. But, you know, that's why you put the work in. Understand that, you know, we got here, but we didn't just get here to be here. We're not going to be in New York just happy, you know what I mean, that we got here. At the end of the day, they've been off for like 3 weeks, it feels like. So for us, we got to understand they're going to be rested. We got to come in and continue the momentum and go from there.
Don, congrats on an exceptional Game 7. It felt like you guys got in the paint all night long. Was there something you guys spoke about? Did you prioritize getting in the paint? Was it something tactical that you tried to play earlier in the clock? What was it that got you guys inside so much tonight?
I think the thing we saw was the bigs were so lifted, right? Like every time I got to my floater, pretty much games 2 and 3 or 3 and 4, excuse me. And then now they're just stepping up, you know. Now the drop offs are there. Now you're getting into the paint, trying to find ways to create, and now the play is sometimes behind you, playing off 2 feet, you know, passing back and then executing swings. Like those were the things, but. You know, unfortunately, it took 7 games for us to figure that out. But, you know, it's one of those things where we saw it, and it starts with me just being the aggressor, and not just scoring, right? Just kind of getting there and creating an advantage. And then also, honestly, defensively, our force, our energy, we limit them to 1 shot. Like, that was huge in Game 6. We gave them, I think to start the game, we gave them like 4 chances, you know what I mean? And that kind of sets the tone, right? So for us, just making it tough on defense, and then we can get out.
Donovan, this was a narrative-changing performance, not just for yourself and for the team, but your bigs in particular stepped up, and not just this game, this series, this playoffs. They've been super, super impactful, playing physical, playing different ways. Talk about the impact that they've had on you guys as a team.
I think the biggest thing, and I've said this all year, is just the mental, right? Like understanding that, you know, the narratives are a thing. Everybody's going to have something to say. Everybody's going to have something to say after this too, right? Like understand that that's going to be a thing, but, you know, what are you going to do mentally to push through? You know, whether you're tired, whether guys are, you know, beating you up, like doing whatever, right? How are you going to respond? And the biggest thing is Jared Allen and Evan Mobley have raised their ceiling to the highest degree all year. But, you know, obviously in a game like this to show it on a national stage, I'm really proud of them, really happy for them. Because they continue to work, and we know how good both of those guys are, but sometimes the world doesn't get to see that. So I'm glad on a stage like this they get to show it, but we got another test coming up with 2 talented bigs coming up against New York, but they've been phenomenal, and they've been great.
Hey, Donovan, congratulations for advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals, and also congratulations to y'all for shutting me up.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Y'all answer all my
I ain't
questions.
gonna lie. I seen the
questions.
YouTube. I saw you say something. I saw you say something, but I don't know what you said. I kind of skipped by it quick. I didn't want to see it.
Y'all answer all my questions tonight. I have nothing else to say. 3-0 in Game 7s for you since you've been with the Cleveland Cavaliers. How can you guys create that mindset, that sense of urgency, and that desperation from Game 1 all the way through?
And that's what I told the guys in the locker room. We shouldn't have to wait to get hit, right, and get punched in the mouth or be facing a go-home situation. And I think that's just the mindset. And it starts with me, UD, to be honest. And like I said, I'm known as a scorer, right, but just getting in the paint, being aggressive, just with force. Understanding that it's just going to come, right? You just got to continue to go out there and put the best foot forward, put your energy forward, and everything else will take care of itself. But when you focus on the little details, boxing out, defending, getting hits on the bigs, on the box out, everything else will take care of itself. But, it starts with me, starts with James, starts with Evan, and everybody else will follow.
Congrats, Donovan. Great win. We got to look forward now to the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks are rolling. What are you seeing next round?
They got a lot of talent. I think they're peaking at the right time. I think a lot of guys are playing well over there. Obviously, you have Jalen Brunson, the head of the Snake, Karl Anthony Towns, but Mikal and OG are equally as dangerous. That's what we're starting to see. Josh Hart's a dog. We know them very well, and understand that, hey, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be, might have another Game 7. You know what I'm saying? So I understand it's going to be a dogfight on the boards, on defense, communication, and we got a lot of respect for them. But, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and compete and do what we do and not be satisfied. And we're not. We'll be ready to go in 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Incredible win. Like I said, I know a lot left to do, but soak in this moment. You did it. Headed to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Good luck, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, coming on up. It is
30. And I go back to when we lost to Dirk and those guys in 2011 when Braun was 26. Immediately, for our spacing and for what we needed to be the best version of ourselves, he had to go in the block because Chris Bosh was a three-point shooter. He went straight to the lab and got in and work with Akeem. So it's no, for Jalen Duren, there's no point to be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Like, yes, this was a tough series. This was a tough playoff run for you. Now you understand what you need to work on. So if you don't work on those things and you have the same kind of output next year, then we can get on you. But right now, you're still 22 years old and you have the unlimited amount of talent. So go to work, man. And front office, go to work. I'm sure they're going to go to work and address some of the needs.
Yeah, and Jalen Duren also had an incredible regular season, and sometimes people do forget about that when it comes to the postseason, BG.
Yeah, I think, UD's right. I think just in general, the Pistons looked like they had ran out of gas, and I know both teams had gone to multiple Game 7s, so that's not really an excuse, but Tobias looked like he didn't have the same legs, the same pop, the same lift, and he was brilliant earlier in the playoffs. But, it's a young Detroit team. They made the playoffs last year, 2 years removed, I think, from 28 straight losses. Like they are in the right position. They just have to keep going. So I think their roster needs a little bit of retooling. You were relying a lot on Danish Jenkins, who has had a great year and is an unbelievable player. Marcus Sasser, Paul Reed. Those are guys that weren't necessarily a huge part of their minutes. So nothing to hang your head about. But it's you know what you have to do. You know what you got to work on this summer. You can make some moves and come back. And now the goal is conference finals. They did first round last year, second round this year. I know that's not what you want to hear, but they are in a great spot.
And something that we were speaking about all season was just when you look at Detroit, where are you getting your scoring and that offense and that playmaking outside of Cade? And that was one of the things that was their Achilles heel in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and Dirk touched on it. When you're getting scored on every time, and you have to come up and manufacture in the half court. I thought Cleveland was great defensively, but really where they were great is they just took away all those turnover baskets or opportunities to get in the paint, fast break points, and I think it just made it really hard. And then, to UD's point, Cleveland wore Cade down. This was designed from the start of the series. They switched as long as they possibly could to make him manufacture, not doubling him till late in the games. I think at the end of the series, he was tired. Tobias was tired. They're relying on guys who haven't even played in the series to give him a lift. And so, great year for Detroit, but they're just not quite built for this yet. And I think it showed going to 7 games twice and the fatigue and the toll it took. They need a little more help, and then they also got to improve from within.
I remember Cade also comes off a collapsed lung a few weeks ago, and the stuff that he has to do for them every night. He creates. pick and roll, switch, create for himself, create for others. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot on him, and unfortunately, he didn't have his great stuff tonight. But overall, I think Detroit's going to look at this season as success. They're the #1 seed in the East with the young team. They've grown from year to year, as BG and all you guys said. So overall, I thought they can look back here and say this was a great season for us, and we just need to take a next step now. We sniffed a little bit deeper. Now we got to address some of the stuff that we need to address and maybe get some more playmaking, get some more shooting, and then they're right there with everybody in the East.
Absolutely. Well, it's time now for a pre